Gary Lineker has seen almost everything in English football. The goals, the heartbreak, the near misses, the legends who came close, but never quite brought football home. But in New York, while filming Times the Rest is Football Times for Netflix, Lineker witnessed something deeply personal. Not from the commentary box, not from a BBC studio, but sitting side by side with Micah Richards and a man who was not even in England's World Cup squad, Harry Maguire. As England opened their Group L campaign against Croatia, all eyes were on Harry Kane. And by halftime, Kane had not only dragged England forward, he had stepped directly into Gary Lineker's territory. Because with 2 huge goals, Kane reached 10 World Cup goals for England, the same number as Lineker, and Lineker's reaction said everything. The scene was simple, but powerful. Gary Lineker, now 65, was in New York for the tournament, working on Times The Rest is Football Times podcast for Netflix. Alongside him was co-host Micah Richards, both wearing England's 2026 shirts as they watched Thomas Tuchel's side begin their World Cup journey. But next to them sat Harry Maguire, dressed casually, watching from the outside after being controversially left out of Tuchel's 2-6-man England squad. That image alone carried a strange weight. Maguire, once such a major figure for England at tournaments, was not in Dallas with the squad. He was not on the pitch. He was not on the bench. He was watching like everyone else. And then came the moment that turned the watch-along into something much bigger. Harry Kane stepped up from the penalty spot. England's captain had the chance to strike first against Croatia, and after a retake, he did exactly that. Goal. England were ahead. For Kane, it was his 9th World Cup goal, just one behind Lineker's England record of 10. But Croatia would not disappear quietly. They hit back and pegged England level, reminding everyone that this opener was not going to be comfortable. The game had tension, the game had pressure, and England had questions to answer. Then, just before halftime, Kane rose again. A corner came in, and the England captain powered home a header, the kind of header that even Harry Maguire would have admired. And suddenly, history was level. Harry Kane, 10 World Cup goals for England. Gary Lineker, 10 World Cup goals for England. 2 generations. 2 Golden Boot winners, 1 shared record, and the Netflix cameras caught the reaction. Lineker did not hide it. He shook his fist in celebration, genuinely delighted as Maguire clapped beside him. Then, Lineker lifted both hands, showing 10 fingers, repeating the number as Kane joined him at the top of England's World Cup scoring list. This was not jealousy. This was not awkwardness. This was respect. A former England great watching the current England captain reach the same historic mark live, in real time, with the whole room feeling the significance of it. But Kane's record-equaling moment was only part of a wild night for England. Croatia kept exposing weaknesses. England had firepower, but they were not perfect. The defensive concerns were clear, and the match had the feeling of a tournament opener full of drama, nerves, and warning signs. At halftime, the scoreline was not comfortable. England had shown quality, but they had also been hurt. Then came the response. After the break, Thomas Tuchel's side came out with more intensity. England stayed in the dressing room longer than Croatia, and when they returned, the difference was visible. Jude Bellingham delivered the kind of moment England fans have come to expect from him. He ran in behind the Croatian defense and fired England back in front, turning the pressure into belief. Then Marcus Rashford finished the job. Cutting onto his right foot inside the box, Rashford curled the ball into the corner to seal a 4-2 win. England had survived the scare. Kane had matched Lineker. Bellingham had taken control. Rashford had closed the door. And Tuchel's World Cup campaign had started with victory. But even on a night of celebration, there were concerns. Kane was later spotted with strapping on his leg after the match. Declan Rice also limped off early, creating instant worry for England fans. Tuchel did not completely calm those fears. He admitted they would have to wait and see, saying he hoped both players were okay. And when speaking about Rice, he made it clear that taking him off was not something he would normally do. That means England's first World Cup win came with 2 very different emotions. Excitement because their captain made history. Concern because 2 key players may not have come through the match cleanly. For Gary Lineker, this was a full-circle football moment. He scored his 10 World Cup goals across the 1,986 and 1,990 tournaments, including his Golden Boot winning run in Mexico in 1986. Harry Kane began his World Cup scoring story against Tunisia in 2018, won the Golden Boot with 6 goals, added more in Qatar, and then struck twice against Croatia to stand level with one of England's greatest finishers. And the most powerful part? Lineker was right there to see it happen. Not distant, not detached, not bitter. He was smiling, celebrating, raising 10 fingers as Kane joined him in history. Beside him, Harry Maguire watched too, the axed England star, witnessing the captain deliver the kind of set-piece moment that once felt tailor-made for him. England have started their World Cup with a dramatic win. Kane has matched Lineker. Tuchel has his first major statement. But with injury concerns around Kane and Rice, the story is far from simple. Because England did not just open their campaign with goals. They opened it with drama, records, emotion, and a reminder that at a World Cup, even a victory can leave you holding your breath. Now the question is clear. Has Harry Kane only matched Gary Lineker? Or is he about to leave him behind?